This is the woman that we're talking about. Hang on a second.
But anyway, so he just kept talking and talking. So I showed him a picture of my Madison first. My Madison at the time was 6 years old. And I was like, so what do you think about this little girl? And he's like, oh, I want her. How do I get her? And I was like, well, you don't. That's my daughter. So then I pulled out the picture of Shaylin. And Shaylin was, at the time, how old was Shaylin? She was 5 years old. She was 11 years old. And both my daughters are gorgeous. But that's besides the point. He goes, oh, I like her too. How do I get her? And I said, you don't. These are my daughters.
Gross.
That's what we're talking about. Right, someone.
I could see how you like her to
leave. Someone needs to leave because we're full.
And she still hung out with him for a couple of days after and signed with the company.
This makes 100% sense. You know, why Poon Handler would be interested in somebody who's actively going and associating with child predators.
I never said anything about being interested. I said
being that he is a child predator.
I mean, you subbed to fucking dildos too, dipshit. Like Steph, you subbed to that stupid cunt.
I'm sorry.
And she has at least 3 murders on her fucking back. She's got at least 3 murders on her back.
3 murders.
Can you prove that? Can you prove that? Poon?
No, I mean, it hasn't been proven yet.
Yeah, of course you can't prove it. Of course you can't prove it.
It might be proven. He
Yeah,
still
you
might
go
be
onto
proven.
a panel and admit that you're going to stick your
I mean,
dick
when you're
down a kid's
27
throat.
years old and you got 4 boyfriends at long term and 3 of them are dead, that's a little fucking weird.
Chiva, it might not be such a good idea to keep Poon on the panel.
Yeah, no shit. He's kind of dragging.
I agree.
Shit, man.
I mean, I don't have 3 dead girlfriends. I don't think any of the chicks I used to bang are dead, actually. So that's a little weird.
He's a classic who just likes to hear the sound of his voice. I mean, that's.
I do love to hear the sound of my voice. It's very fucking my voice.
If you're not Betty Washam, please don't try and join the panel.
Yeah, if Betty Washing Machine could jump on the panel, that'd be wonderful.
And if she does, then I mean, are you fucking kidding me?
I hear silence. Did Poon just fucking get dropped?
No, he literally loves hearing the sound of his voice.
Right, okay, all right. Poon Handler, I'll see you later. Goodbye.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
We could use Betty's skill of tarot reading to find out if Poon did light his fire.
Hello, Betty. Welcome to the church as well.
How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. How are you?
I just woke up from my nap, but very weird dream, but thank you.
Oh shit, I had a weird dream last night too.
Do tell. Don't keep us waiting.
Yeah.
It's just very weird. I have this reoccurring dream sometimes of
reoccurring or recurring?
I don't talk well.
He's a stickler.
I guess it's reoccurring dream.
It's recurring.
It constantly comes. It's a nightmare. It's not a dream. It's a fucking nightmare.
Okay.
But I'm at the farm I grew up at, and I pull up in a car, and my grandpa's still alive. And then all of a sudden, my car is missing, and I can't find my car. And then I'm looking everywhere for my car, but I can't find my car anywhere. And then I wake up.
And what's significant about that dream?
I'm thinking it's because my grandpa raped me for 10 years and I could never get away. So maybe the stealing of my cars is me every time I tried to leave.
All right, okay. So I watched some of your tarot videos.
Yes, sir.
I critiqued them, actually. I critiqued a couple of them. I was particularly interested in your reading and then some feedback that you got from the person you did the reading to. Can I suggest you learn something called the mechanics grip? Don't the card so much. Also, put some cloth behind your thing. We could talk about the tarot. No, let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about this. Did you see the clip I played earlier? I'm sure you
Yes,
know the clip I mean.
Yes.
I am a real dick, Helen. Yes. Would you care to give some context for that?
Sure. I didn't know what kind of mindset this guy was in because he had told me to look over at the 13-year-old girl and told me that she was sexy. Did I think she was sexy? That's what is sexy, that I'm not sexy. So I really didn't understand what the hell he meant. It didn't really trigger in my brain. I'm sitting out by the pool talking to this legend, supposedly, and he's telling me this 13-year-old girl is sexy. So I thought...
And you knew the girl was 13?
Yes, she was 13 years old.
And he knew the girl was 13?
Yes, he did.
And then it seems pretty clear what he means.
But you got to understand, I'm sitting here in front of a legend thinking to myself, is this really what this guy means? Does this guy really mean this? So I thought to myself, I'm going to pull out a couple of pictures of one of my, a picture of each one of my kids. I want to see where this guy's mind is. And as soon as he said, yeah, he liked my 6-year-old, then he said he liked my 11-year-old, I knew exactly where this motherfucker's head was.
So him saying that he liked a 13-year-old wasn't enough of an indicator for you?
It was an indicator, but I really didn't understand what he meant. You got to understand, like,
so you
have to be there. You have to be there. You have to have been there. Like, this had never happened to me before in my life. Okay, this is John Casablanca, the founder of Elite Modeling Agency. This had never happened to me in my life. I did not know how to react, to be honest with you.
And your first thought was to show him a picture of your child?
No, that was my second thought. Let me see how far sick this guy's brain is. That's what I thought.
And so you showed him your 6-year-old?
Yes.
And he was like, yes, I'd bang her.
I'd like to sign her. Where can I find her?
Right. Well, that's not what it sounded like in the video.
Well, that's what he said. I would like to sign her. Where can I find her?
Right. Okay.
And I said,
so why did you then feel the need? Why did you then feel the need to show him a picture of your second daughter, who was older than the 6-year-old? That seems like, to my mind, taking everything that you're saying at face value.
I have no answer. I really have no answer for you because at the time, I really don't know. I don't know. I just pulled both pictures out at the same time, not one by one. I had both pictures out at the same time and handed them to him at the same time.
But
what they were like physical photographs?
Yeah.
Not on a phone.
No, they were physical photographs out of my purse.
I see. And does this person know your name and address?
No, he did not at the time.
Did you sign with
this? No, I did not.
At the time.
At the time.
But you partied with him another 3 more days?
No, I did not. The night before that is when I was invited to the party, which was by a gentleman my age. When we got
and that's where they were dancing with all the kids.
Can I speak? Thank you. When we got into the limo SUV, there were several 13 to 14-year-old girls in the limo with older men.
And were they clearly underage?
Clearly underage.
And you did nothing.
What am I supposed to do?
Call the fucking cops.
Excuse me, my phone was not with me at the time.
That's super convenient.
I was in Las Vegas, away from my home, Missouri.
Yeah, right. So I understand that. That's understandable.
Full of fucking old men and one date.
That's understandable. I suppose what I wouldn't have done is then whipped out a couple of kids pictures of my young children and showed them to someone.
I met John Casablanca. That was not that night. at all, sir. That was not
So,
that
so there was a period then when you could have conceivably contacted the authorities.
I contacted the authorities as soon as I got back to Missouri.
Okay.
And that's why John Casablanca went down. Yes, I did contact them. And I gave them all information that he wrote on the card of where he had the kids stay at the apartment, what his cell phone numbers were, where his other house was, all these different numbers, because what he wanted me for was to work at his industry to make parents feel calm to allow their children to be there.
What year did this happen in?
2007. Las Vegas, Bally's Hotel and Casino at Model Search America.
A lunatic in the chat says, "I would have contacted them at the nearest phone, for fuck's sake."
Sorry, you guys wasn't me. And
No.
Clearly.
you know,
You
don't
said
know
you were
what
in
you're
the limo
saying.
with a date.
Yes, I was in the limo with the guy who owned Model Search America that was my age.
You referred to him as a date.
Yes, he was my date.
Oh, your date, not a date.
He was my date. He asked me out on a date.
Right. It's just that a date is common reference for people in a certain industry.
Oh,
so.
no, not a sex industry. No, he asked me to go out on a date.
I'm just trying to understand where you came from, what your mind was. There was no judgment in that statement.
Yeah, no, I actually wore slacks, a pair of heels, and a tank top. Matter of fact, when we got to, which I wish I could remember the name of the club, but when we got there was a long line, and they just let us in on the other side, no questions asked. And we sat at a table, and you had to pay $1,000 an hour for vodka and a bunch of different side drinks like orange juice, cranberry juice, things like that. I started noticing that the girls were drinking, and almost every one of them had mini skirts on. And I looked over at the guy, and I said, "What the fuck is this?" And he said, "Shut the fuck up, Betty. They will kill you." I did not drink a drop. I sat there with just boiling, not saying a fucking word, seeing things that people shouldn't see, and being like, "What the fuck is this?" Well, when he said, "Shut the fuck up, Betty, they will kill you," I really believed they would fucking kill me. Now, I did not take my phone with me, and I did not know where the hell I was. That is why I did not have a drink. I wanted to remain completely sober.
So you saw what appeared to be the sex trafficking of young children
Yes.
the night before.
Yes.
And then the next day you had an interview with somebody who also expressed interest in a young girl.
Yes.
And your response was to hand them pictures of your children.
My response was, like I said, to see exactly what mindset was this guy in. And you guys got to understand, I'm standing in front of a big time person. This is not your normal fucking guy, okay? This is John Casablanca, who founded Elite Modeling Agency, who Trump's daughter was a model for, who Cindy Crawford was a model for, Naomi Campbell was a model for, on and on and on.
Right. So assuming that this is a person who might have power, who could possibly get to your children. By you showing your children and him expressing interest, wouldn't that be putting them at a far greater risk than just the average pedophile?
No, my children were highly protected.
How so?
Because where they were with their fathers, and every one of my kids' dads carry weapons, they would have fucking shot the motherfuckers if they would have tried to be around my kids. And the same way with my grandkids. Everybody carries in my family. Even I carry.
So?
But you just expressed that you were scared of these people and were concerned that those protections weren't enough for yourself.
They wasn't at the time. You got to understand. I was 30 years old, just got out of an 8-year marriage, didn't even know the world because I was always married and pretty much coddled, I guess you could say, because my husband was amazing. I didn't see all of this kind of shit and stuff like that, you know?
you said at the beginning of this conversation that you were a victim yourself when you were a young girl, so you
Yes,
do know
ma'am,
what
I
it was to be
Yes, ma'am,
victimized.
I was. For 10 years of my life.
Right. So, you know, so you do have experience being victimized.
Yes, by the master
Personally-
manipulator. Yes, I do.
Personally, right? If I had any concerns that somebody was a pedophile at all, even the faintest thought, especially a person in power, my initial reaction would not be to show them pictures of my own children. I think that's where people are confused.
Or go out with him on the second date.
Well, you know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I can't
So
say.
you knew, you knew that this person was a pedo. Like you had the inclination
No, I
that
did
he was a
not
pedo.
know this person was a
And,
pedo.
well, you showed him pictures, and he
Hold
said a
up.
13-year-old was
This
attractive,
person
but you decided to
was
go out on a
not
second
there
date with
that
him
night.
anyway.
The night before, John was not there. John was not there.
I don't know. It just sounds like you're either gullible or just really
lying.
desperate. Yeah, I think she's lying too.
You can think whatever the you want to. You didn't walk in my shoes. You wasn't
Can
there.
we move on to?
Can I get some facts on you taking him down though? Because you said
Yes,
this
you
took
can.
him down in 2007.
No, he got taken down in 2009. I came directly back to Missouri, shaking like a fucking leaf. I even tried the women that
fuck about it. Do you care about the kids?
That signed their kids over that day. I tried to talk to them, and I said, "Please don't send your kids with him. This is what he wants to do with them." They would not.
And how was he taken down?
To me.
How was he taken down?
I went home with the evidence where I was safe.
How was he taken down? How was he taken down? What took him down? Who prosecuted him?
They did a sting on him.
But you had nothing to do with that?
Yeah, who prosecuted
I did have
him?
something to do with that.
I don't
What
think
did you have to do with that, Peter?
Because I gave them the address to where he made the kids stay. I gave them all of his fucking contacts and everything and what he wanted me to do, and even written on the back of the thing of what job he wanted me to do. And I faxed it over to the FBI in New York City.
You testify.
No, I did not testify. And I asked to be anonymous because I was fucking afraid for my fucking life.
Thought you carried guns.
Does anyone know much about this John Casablancas on the panel?
No, I've never heard of him.
No, because I've looked up his wiki page.
60 Minutes just did a thing on him and his partner, and you can go to my channel.
I don't watch American television programs.
You can go in Australia.
Can I suggest that you update?
I'm not Australian. I'm not Australian. Hasn't your detective told you that I'm not Australian yet?
I'm not. What do you mean, my detective? You're talking about the detective on the case for Dank Williams?
No.
I thought you were opening a case against me. You told me that
I don't have a case against you. I said you don't want to be involved with Dank Williams. That's what I said.
Betty, can I suggest?
It's a 3-year investigation that the detective has now taken on.
Right.
That's not what you said the other night.
Betty, can I suggest that
I said, and that's what I meant. And if it came out wrong, I do have a brain injury, and I do apologize. Some of my things don't come out correctly, and I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to say I am.
When did you get this brain injury?
Yeah,
2011.
Okay, so after the incident, you got the brain injury. Okay, so at the time of the incident, your cognitive thinking was normal, neurotypical?
Yes, as much as it could be, yes.
If you hadn't opened a case investigation into me, why did you give me a case number?
No, that's his case number. That's Dank's case number.
Oh, right, okay.
And I said,
Something more. Can we move on to something more contemporary and an area in which I think you pose a genuine danger?
He is a motherfucking pervert.
No, hang on. Wait, no, okay, yeah, that was a segue into something, so I'll repeat that again. I'd like to change the subject. Something more contemporary, Betty, and something in which I think you, Betty, are actually acting in a manner that is detrimental to the well-being of other beings, specifically with regards to missing children and tarot readings.
Okay.
Would you care to tell me? Would you care to tell me what the tarot cards tell you about the missing children when you do readings on them?
Actually, I do readings on their parents, not on the children. Themselves.
Okay, and
the tarot reading that I came out with for Summer Wells' parents is that they're both guilty and they know where she is, and that they sold her.
And the tarot cards told you that.
Yeah, you know tarot cards.
Yeah, I made up my own system for them. Yeah.
He's very honest about his use of tarot cards.
All you got to do is pull up my video of the tarot reading. That's the first crime reading
we
I
saw
ever
it.
did. And you can pull my video up and you can play it right now of all the cards that I got, and then you can critique it and tell me what you think.
Yeah, we saw
right. I mean, if you want me to critique your tarot readings, I can do that right now.
I mean,
yeah, I would first of all,
I would like to say I'm just learning again how to read tarot. I've not read tarot since I was 22 years old, and 3 days later, my whole life fell apart.
I haven't read tarot. I haven't read tarot in about 5 years. The other night, I gave a tarot reading for someone, a lunatic, and it was much more convincing than your tarot readings. Here's my advice: if you want to do tarot readings, get another camera, have it on a jig, point it down to your cards, or even better still, because you don't appear to know how to handle the cards, don't use cards. There are websites which will randomly select tarot cards for you, right? In spreads.
I'm doing it the way that I want to. Is that okay?
You asked me about the tarot, so I'm giving you my opinion.
Hey Shiva, I got a question.
So when you're doing a reading, I've seen some of your readings. What you do is give your take.
Go get a set of cards.
Yeah, okay. What you do is you give your impression of what the card means in isolation, not in the context of the card being in a spread and connected to other cards.
Yes, that's what I'm learning now how to do, because like I said, I'm new.
But you feel yourself fit to make proclamations about whether the parents are guilty of the murder or sale of their child?
Like I said, if you go back and you look at and you play it, go play it for everyone, and you see
we played it the other night. Here, we played it.
And you see the cards that I pulled for the parents. They know exactly where she is, and it was some kind of money exchange, and that is exactly what I got out of the reading.
And that was the Two of Cups, wasn't it, if I recall correctly?
No, it was the Seven of Pentacles, where they sold her. Because I asked the cards.
Well, what was the card where you identified the parents? That was the Two of Cups,
was it? To the reading. Or do you want me to go back and look? Because that was days ago. That was days ago. And that was an hour, 15, 20-minute reading.
But you understand, it's kind of irrelevant, right? Because I've invented my own system for the tarot cards. I invented my own.
Everybody invents their own system.
I guess.
Right. So you saying, well, I pulled this card and it means this. It's meaningless.
I think she's admitted that in her own words, because she says, I'm just learning. She hasn't got a clue.
I go back and I go through what is called, I think it's called Voodoo, I think. And right here it's called BiddyTarot.com. And it tells you the meanings of each card.
Okay, Betty, let me give you a hypothetical here. Let's say I get a pack of tarot cards, right? And I start using them, and I come to the conclusion that you're a murderer. Does this now mean that you're a murderer?
No, it does not.
Well, then how do you know that these people know that their kid is missing and they're in on it and shit like that?
Well, also, I've looked at their interviews.
That doesn't make any sense, Betty.
I have done so much research on these.
But you said you were an amateur. You said you just fucking started getting into it. You are such a liar.
Did you pay? Did they pay you? Did they pay you?
Nobody's paid me.
So are you of the opinion that you're doing these for entertainment purposes, or are you of the opinion that you actually have some connection to the spirit realm? And
I do have connecting to the spirit realm. Matter of fact, without cards, I solved and helped the FBI with a murder that happened in 2013 with Kyla Parks. That was my daughter.
How?
Okay, my ex-husband's ex-wife, all of a sudden, my stepchildren were brought to my doorstep. And they started telling me about a guy named Larry Warner, which was the mama's boyfriend. Immediately, I got chills up my spine, and I went and looked what this guy looked like. And it said that he had been an indication of the murder of Kyla Parks, but nobody could verify.
But what said that? What said that?
Now, back
what
to
said that?
what
Betty?
happened.
Betty, what said that?
Can I finish?
What said
why can't you
that?
just answer the question?
Google. On Google, it
Google.
said that he was at the scene of disposing of her body, but they could not get him for anything.
What?
Fucking
No.
what?
Yeah, exactly. What? Exactly. So
No. As in, you're fucking
I
stupid,
seen
and we
the
don't
whole
believe you.
entire thing go down. I seen the
God
whole.
damn it, Betty! You
entire
are
thing.
unstoppable.
So I called 911. I told exactly what I seen. I blew the FBI's the detective's phone up forever, about 8 months. Finally, the FBI detective called me while I was getting ready to go in. The mother of the children were there, and we were getting ready to go in to talk to the Division of Family Services. And the detective called me. First, he called my husband. My husband then found his credentials were what they were supposed to be. Then he called me. My husband gave him my number. He said, "Can you help me? Are you the one that called 911? Are you the woman that has been calling nonstop about premonitions of what might have happened to Kyla Parks?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." And he said, "What can you tell me?" So
I guess
told him
premonitions are premonitions just admissible in court now? Is that how you helped them?
No.
Yeah.
Dude,
So you didn't help them.
stop? Would you just stop?
You didn't help anyone. You're such a liar.
I'm still
Christ.
right. So okay,
stop?
Betty, continue please with your story.
Thank you. Can you mute them? Because I do have
It
a
doesn't
brain.
matter because
I
if you
can't
mute
focus
someone,
on
they
all
can
these
unmute.
people and try to tell my story at the same time.
How did you look? You
I'm
had
trying to tell you
premonitions,
if you will listen.
right?
So I told him what I seen in my mind. Then he said, do you have anybody close to this guy? And I said, actually, actually his girlfriend is standing right over here. And he said, I want to talk to her. So I walked over to the mother of the children, which her name is Stephanie. And I said, if you don't get on this fucking phone and you don't tell the fucking truth about your boyfriend, I'm going to beat your ass like a woman on the street in front of God and everybody right now. And she took the phone.
Hang on.
Started talking.
You know that's forcing her to act under duress, right?
She took the phone. She started.
But the cops don't care because she's not a police officer. It's fine.
That's right. From that point on, they went back. They did their investigation, and they found not only was he involved in this murder, but he was involved in another murder of a Jane Doe that walked 12 miles barefoot and naked and made it to Cox Medical Center and collapsed due to methamphetamines being injected in her arm and her getting infected. And they did not know who she was. The only thing I did not see in my mind was a woman. I did not see a woman. And when it all came down, there was a woman involved, and I did not see a woman.
Sorry, I'm failing to see how anything that you've said so far indicates that you were instrumental in in the capturing of a criminal. Am I missing something?
No, I think you're entirely right, Shiva. She associates herself with two stories now. One about this John Casablancas, and now this story, and she likes to put herself within that story.
I'm not going to listen to your bullshit.
So, Betty, did you have these premonitions before the head injury or after?
I've had psychic abilities my whole life, and I used to take Lexapro to make them go away.
Yeah, she's a regular fire starter here.
You've taken Lamictal before?
Lexapro. Lamictal is what I killed myself with.
You killed yourself.
Like Lazarus after 3 days.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
Hang on.
Okay, hang on. Yeah, Betty, can you do me a favor? Can you read someone on panel? Can you read Tarquin? The person who's called Ayup Sheev with the kind of A board. It's this person here.
Hello.
That person?
Yeah, can you read them?
Oh, this is gonna be good.
What question do you want to know?
Tarquin?
You ask a question. I don't mind.
You have to ask
give
a question.
It has to come from Tarquin. All right, Nemi, do you have a question for Betty so that she can read you?
Do I have kids? Do I see kids in my future?
So, she's interested in children.
I don't tell people's futures. I can give you guidance, but I don't.
got one.
I don't proclaim. to
Okay,
tell
I have
you
a question for you. Will I get elected to office?
That's the future.
Oh.
Yeah, she said she doesn't tell the future. What is the gender of my child?
Or no, I want to know how my kids
Who's asking? Who's asking?
Liz.
Liz.
I got this one.
50-50 question. I think that's fair.
Oh, if you have a son, please don't circumcise.
I also had a question actually. Does smoking when you're doing tarot interfere with the energies?
No.
Then what effect does the sage have?
This is not sage. This is holy wood. It cleanses the energies of my energies in these cards.
It cleanses the energies of your energies in the cards.
It gives no energy to the cards.
So they're like, it cleans sub energies?
Cleans all energies of these cards right now. I'm activating Seraphina. I am activating Seraphina, one of the highest angels that comes down and puts out the fire. I'm activating Michael, the high angel. I'm activating the men in suits. I'm activating my mother. I'm activating my ancestors.
Oh, did you say men in suits?
Yeah.
She did say men in suits, yes.
Yeah. Can you explain the men in suits, please?
Men in white suits.
Yeah, can you explain that?
They protect you from taking on anyone's pain.
So if I put on a white suit, I'm going to take away anyone's pain?
Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop everyone else down so that Tarquin and
I shuffle my cards 3 times.
Betty can have some privacy.
Hold on, what was my question? Oh, I'll ask the same question as Liz then. What is the sex of my children?
Hold, please? Can you hold, please?
Yes,
I'm doing
what is the sex of my children?
I don't want to pick up your energy right now. I need Liz on the screen.
You need Liz? Oh, right, you're doing Liz?
Yes, I'm doing Liz right now. I only
Not
want her.
Thank you. Liz left. Liz left. Yeah.
She left?
Yeah.
Well, then I was getting ready to read her cards.
Well, she might. That did happen before. She may have connection issues. She did rejoin very, very quickly afterwards. So maybe do Tarquin first, perhaps.
Yes,
this
I am here.
Okay, what do you want to know? What? Okay, don't confuse me. What would you like to know?
Well, I've just the same question. What is the sex of my children?
What is the sex of your children? This is the third shuffle that I do. What is your name? Yep, Steve.
Tarquin. My name is Tarquin.
What is it?
Tarquin.
Tarquin?
Yeah, Tarquin Bojangles.
No, I'm serious.
So am I.
His name is. He goes by Tarquin, right? Or what does he go by?
Bojangles. Tarquin Bojangles. That's his channel name.
To read him right now, what? Tarquin. Okay. What is the sex of Tarquin's children? Three of Swords. Death card upside down. What is the sex of Tonkin's children? What is the sex of... Looks to be a girl. Queen of Wands.
So I only have one.
That's one of your children is a girl. What is the sex of Tonkin's children? What is the sex of Tonkin's children?
For clarification, it's not. Hang on, sorry, no, Betty, you might have fucked this up. I don't know if you saying. No, Betty, I don't know if you saying the wrong name affects the reading or not, but it's not Tonkin, it's Tarquin.
That's fine.
So
I got a boy and a girl.
Okay.
Does he have a boy and a girl?
I don't have any children.
You don't have any children at all?
No.
So you don't have a boy and a girl?
No.
So this is you and the girl that you was with, or you and the girl?
I don't have any children.
Fucking owned.
She doesn't have any fucking children. Jesus Christ.
This is what I'm pulling. I'm pulling the Three of Swords. I'm pulling
Stop
the
talking
Death card.
It's weird.
I'm pulling the Queen of Swords and the King
Oh,
of
I missed
Swords.
it. What was the answer? What was the answer to my question?
Boy and a girl to non-existent children.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
So, all right. Do you want to?
what
I
I
think
pulled.
Liz was wanting a reading as well, so I'll
Sure,
drop everyone
yeah.
else down because I think that it's much easier if nobody else is on panel. Liz,
It's not funny.
off you go. Oh no,
Funny
this is
about
funny.
this.
No, this is
But
funny.
I'm glad you
trust me.
guys think it's funny. I don't really care. I will be shuffling the cards, Liz, 3 times. This is how I do my readings. Everybody does their readings differently. I'm sensing your firstborn was a boy.
No, it was not.
Liz,
It's not funny.
off you go. Oh no, this
funny
is
about
funny.
this.
No, this is
But
funny.
I'm glad you
trust me.
guys think it's funny. I don't really care. I will be shuffling the cards, Liz, 3 times. This is how I do my readings. Everybody does their readings differently. I'm sensing your firstborn was a boy.
No, it was not.
Did you have a miscarriage?
Nope. I'm LGBTQ. I had IVF. I knew the sex of my child long before they were put in. There is only one child. She is a girl.
I'm seeing a boy.
I mean,
Yeah.
This isn't looking good, Betty. I'm going to be
I
honest.
don't care. I'm seeing a boy. There is a boy somewhere in her life.
Yeah, I don't care.
I am a homo. I don't even date boys. My wife and I have a girl.
Did your wife previously have a child?
Can we not talk about children with the fucking pedophile supporter over
No,
here?
my
And
wife definitely also did not have a child.
Can I just ask a question of clarification? It was John Casablancas that 60 Minutes exposed, wasn't it?
Yeah, 60 Minutes Australia.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Him
It wasn't Gerald Marie.
No, they exposed him and one other person. With
Are you
elite
sure it
modeling
wasn't?
agency.
Are you sure it wasn't Gerald Marie? Because I've just had an Australian, someone who lives in Australia, tell me that it wasn't John Casablancas.
Yes, it
was Gerald Marie, and then they gave me a link to a YouTube video